Here are 5 common misconceptions about tarot. Tarot cards, getting or doing a tarot reading. Hi, my name is Michelle Fondin. I'm an author, speaker, professional tarot reader, and astrologer. And welcome to Transcendent Astrology and Tarot. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do personal one-on-one tarot readings. You can book that at my website below. And you can join me for my brand new course that is starting on June 26th of 2025. It's called Read Tarot Like a Pro, a professional tarot readers class. You can join me for an info session on June 12th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Pacific time, but you have to register. So register at the link below for that free Zoom call. 5 common misconceptions about the tarot deck. Yes. So if you're new to tarot or you've been browsing tarot readings on YouTube, then you might believe, or maybe you've heard some misconceptions about tarot readings, doing tarot readings. And I'd like to debunk these myths. I'd like to uplift you from these common misconceptions. The first common misconception is that there are bad or scary tarot cards. This simply is not true. Well, the drawings, especially in the original tarot deck from 1909, which is the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which is the deck I'm showing you here, is the original. This is not a scary card, that's a star card. But if you look at the Tower card, for example, it might leave you a little bit fearful, a little bit scared. And so if you are receiving a tarot reading, you might be afraid to get a scary or bad tarot card. And I know a lot of clients that are a little frightened. They want the tarot reading, but then again, they're a little frightened because they're like, I don't want to get a bad card. I don't want a bad card to come out for me. In fact, there are no bad cards in tarot. Let me tell you this right now. No bad cards in tarot. Even the Tower card, which is about a warning. It's a warning that if you are on your current path and you do not deviate from the path, that something bad could occur. Now, this is because your angels, your guides, your spirit guides are looking out for you. They're saying you're going down the wrong path. You're just going down the wrong path. So even a challenging card is helpful. It's not bad. And for example, the Devil card that I just showed you is just saying you might be a little bit too wrapped up in your ego. You might be too materialistic. You might be focused more on the 3D world and less on living holistically. So in fact, every single card in the tarot deck is helpful. It gives you a heads up, whether it's good or bad, because good cards, the good cards, quote unquote, I just showed you the Star card. The good cards can tell you, yay, you're on the right path. And the challenging cards just tell you, hey, there needs to be a little bit of a course correction here. So there are no bad cards in tarot, just helpful ones. Number 2, reversals are bad. So whether you've been watching tarot readings on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or whether you've been doing cards for yourself or getting tarot readings, you might hear from others or read in the comments that, oh no, if you get a lot of reversals in your readings, that's really, really bad. And in fact, reversals are not necessarily bad. All reversals are the opposite of the intention of the card upright. So for example, in the 5 of Swords, which in and of itself is a bit of a challenging card. It can indicate you gossiping about another person. It could indicate somebody else gossiping about you. It could indicate people talking behind your back or not having your best intentions at heart. But it could also indicate you not being on the up and up with other people, you not having the best intentions for other people as well. Well, the card in reverse, which this would be the Five of Swords in reverse if this came out, this could be about you making amends, right? Let's say you said something nasty about another person and you gossiped about that person and it hurt him or her. What this means is that the Five of Swords in reverse means you are making amends, you're making things right. And so reversals are not bad. So let's suppose, I'm just going to pull at random a different card. Let's suppose we have the Seven of Wands, which is about working hard to fight for what you believe in. The reversal of the Seven of Wands, which is a good card, right? So the reversal of the Seven of Wands could just be like, maybe you're working too hard. Maybe you're defending your heart a little too much that you need to scale back. You're becoming a bit of a zealot. So every reversal is just the opposite of the original intention of the tarot card. And if it's a good card, it means too much of a good thing can get in the way. And if it's a challenging card, it could be that you are rectifying or correcting previous behavior that may not have been in your best and highest interest. Or it could mean that another person is going to make amends, rectify, or correct behavior that wasn't in their best interest or your best interest. Number 3, tarot is witchcraft or black magic. Now, while those who practice witchcraft or even black magic may use tarot cards in and of themselves, the practice of tarot has nothing to do with witchcraft or black magic. Did you know, in fact, that prior to the popular practice of tarot that started with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck in 1909, that centuries before that in Italy, in the 16th and 17th centuries in Italy, that tarot was in fact a deck of playing cards for the rich. So yes, for the rich, for the people that were very wealthy, if you will. They made these beautiful cards with beautiful designs. They used the major arcana to create artwork in the cards, and they were a deck of fancy playing cards for the wealthy. Now, did you also know that during that time in the 16th and 17th centuries, that for the poor, the ones who couldn't afford a tarot deck, that they used plain playing cards, the 52 card deck that you might be familiar with. And so the tarot was for the rich. It had nothing to do with fortune telling or black magic or foreseeing into the future. It was a card game for the wealthy that is very close to the game of bridge today. Number 4, you cannot practice tarot and follow your current religion, whatever your religion happens to be. Now, if your religion forbids the practice of fortune telling, I'm going to talk about that in point 5, but let's just talk about this for a moment. When tarot was actually used for intuitive readings, which came a little bit later, probably the late 17th and 18th centuries, when it came through as a method of intuitive reading, at that time, even the Pope asked for a tarot reading because it was equated with wealthy people. And who supports the churches? The wealthy. And in fact, a lot of the symbolism on the tarot decks are Judeo-Christian in nature. Judeo-Christian in nature, that's what they are. It's not the only symbolism of the tarot deck, but the tarot deck is heavily influenced by Judeo-Christian, the Kabbalah, And of course, the Golden Dawn Society, which we will talk about in my Read Tarot Like a Pro course. But if you look at even the symbolism of the Strength card, it's symbolized typically by the lion and the lamb. And Jesus referred to himself as the Lamb of God. So this is really about not becoming the owner of the lion, if you will. Look at this woman who's like an angel. She's literally like putting her hand in the lion's mouth. It's not about that, but it's becoming the docile lamb in order to tame the lion, that you do it through love, compassion, spreading the word of love, spreading the word of compassion. And that is how you tame the beast. That is how you tame the lion, which is a very Christian religious concept. So yes, tarot doesn't have anything to do with anti-religion practices. In fact, it supports religion in many ways, not intending in the modern times, but it's just the way it was created in ancient times. But tarot is about looking into current trajectories for people and not necessarily fortune telling, which leads me to point 5. Tarot foretells the future. This is false. Nothing can really foretell the future. Why? Because we have free will. We have free will to change in every single choice we make, in every single thought that we think. So it does not foretell the future. What tarot does do with a professional tarot reader who is reading intuitively and reading correctly is it gives a snapshot. I look at it as like a picture, right? Taking a picture of present time. So when you give a tarot reading to someone, you're taking a snapshot, a picture of present time, that the probability that things will unfold into the future are very high. And the reason why there's a probability curve is that people are creatures of habit. And unless you mindfully change the way you're going, then things are probably going to turn out the way things are shown in the cards, just because a lot of people don't take advantage of their free will. But it is also helpful to take that snapshot and have a look, because it can help you to course correct. So it's not fortune telling. It's not seeing into the future. It's saying, hey, here's a snapshot of what's going on in this situation in your life. And if things continue along this path, this is the way it's probably going to look. Not 100%, but probably. It's probably going to look like this. But if you change, if you make different decisions, then things would probably turn out differently. And so it's not fortune telling, it's just present telling. That's what I like to say. This is present telling. And I'm going to give you an example before we sign off. If someone, for example, has a poor diet and they're eating sugar, candy, and fast food day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, well, the body is pretty forgiving in the beginning, but as those toxins build up in the body, 10 years down the road, that person might have type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, heart disease, stroke. So you can see that taking a snapshot of someone's eating habits in the present could give the probability curve for their future health, in this example, unless they make drastic changes. So the tarot is no different, whether you're asking about love, career, health, life path and purpose, or whatever you happen to look at between relationships as an example. So I hope this was helpful in demystifying the common misconceptions about tarot. And I hope this helps make tarot reading a little more accessible and understandable for you. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure to click on that bell icon and click on all so you get all notifications of all of my videos on this channel. You can go over to @Michelle Fondin Author, my other YouTube channel, And if you're interested in learning how to read tarot professionally, to have a side hustle, a side gig, earn some extra cash, or just deepen your practice, make sure to sign up for my course below or sign up for that info session on June 12th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.